Hey peeps, it's Julian here from Tutoring, and always it's such a pleasure to join you. Today we are dealing with a question from the 2018 grade 11 Maths Lit paper 2, and this question deals with measurements, in particularly measuring areas and volumes of a cylindrical container. So, the question says, to cater for hand washing and to save water, the laundry uses water collected from rain and stored in cylindrical storage containers as shown in the figure below. They have 10 such containers. So as you can see, they've given this diagram and they say that it's 50 centimeters across in length and 70 centimeters in height, and they now ask us in 1.2.1, show with calculations whether the 10 containers can fit on the floor of the storeroom, which is 3 by 2.5 meters. So 1.2.1, we first need to find out how many containers can fit lengthwise and then breadthwise of the room. So I'm just going to draw a little diagram here. If this is the storeroom, okay, and it's 2.5 meters by 3 meters, a cylinder here will fit on the floor pan, will have a length of 0.5 meter this way, so very small, 0.5 meters in length, and they will be stored next to each other. So how many of these 0.5 meters can fit lengthwise? And then the same thing goes for breadthwise, and the length will also be 0.5 meter, so 0.5 meters in length from there to there. So how many of these can fit breadthwise and lengthwise? So if we go with the first one, which is lengthwise, we need to find out. So they say that length, it's 3 meters, and we divide it by the total length of the cylinder, and we'll get how many can fit lengthwise. So 3 divided by now 50 centimeters, okay, is equal to 0.5 meters, because there are 100 centimeters in a meter. So 50 centimeters divided by the 100 centimeters in a meter comes to 0.5 meters. So that's how long lengthwise it is. So this here is 0.5 meter. So we divide by the 0.5 meters, and this comes to 6 containers. Now we need to do the same thing as for breadthwise. So breadthwise, we need to take the 2.5 meters divided by, it's the same length breadthwise, so the 0.5 meters, which comes to 5 containers. So now how many containers can we fit in total? So the total will be the breadthwise times by the lengthwise. So if we take the number that we can have lengthwise, which we've calculated to be 6, and the number to be breadthwise, which we've calculated to be 5, we get that the total is equal to 6 times by the 5, which gives us 30 containers. Sorry, it's containers. And so we can then conclude that therefore 10 containers do fit, because we can actually fit up to 30. So that's the answer for 1.1.2. Then the next question, 1.2.2. For hand washing, they use 100 liters of water per 25 kilograms of washing. The average hand washing per day is 30 kilos. Now we may use these formulas to calculate the following questions. So they've given us the formula for a volume of a cylindrical container. And in A, they say, calculate the capacity of the container shown in the diagram. So what is the capacity in liters of this container? That is 50 centimeters by 70. So for number 1.2.2a, we have that the volume of a container, and they've given us a volume for a cylinder. It's pi times the radius times the height. Okay, and this, we then going to have a little side calculation here of the radius is equal to your diameter divided by 2, because there are your diameter is this length across here, and your radius is your length from the middle to the circumference, so you need to divide by 2 of them. So your diameter is the 50 centimeters divided by 2, which comes to 25 centimeters. So then therefore our volume will equal, substituting in, they say we must for pi use 3,142. So it's going to be 3,142 multiplied by your radius, which, oh, and I have made a mistake here in that this is actually radius squared, so don't forget that. If you can see here, it's 2 of your radiuses, so it's radius squared, so it'll be radius squared, so we'll double up on the amount of radiuses we multiply by, so it'll be 25 centimeters times by 25 centimeters, because it's radius squared, and then we multiply by the height, which is 70 centimeters. So putting this all into your calculator, so these 4 terms, so we multiply this by this by this by this, and this comes to a total of 137,462,5 centimeters cubed. Remember, it is in centimeters cubed because it's a volume. And then we need to find out how many liters. So in liters, they've told us that a 1 liter is 1,000 centimeters cubed. So if we divide this 1,000 centimeter cubed value by 1,000, we'll get it in liters. So therefore, in liters, it's going to equal this number here. So 462,5 divided by 1,000. So in your calculator, you put that number, you divide it by 1,000, and this is going to come to 137,4625 liters. And that's your answer for question B. For question A, I'm just going to erase some space so that we can go on to question B. Okay, so I made some space. I did leave this calculations at the bottom still because we're going to need this amount for question B, which I'll read out now. So the supervisor claims that 5 containers of water will be enough for 5 days. Verify with calculations whether this claim is valid or not. So this is where we need to use how many liters are in a container. So for 1.2.2, we need to find the capacity for the 5 containers. So the capacity for 5, okay, will be the number of, so the liters per container multiplied by the number that we have, which will be the 5. So we know that this equals this 137,4625 liters multiplied by 5, and this comes to a total of, you put it in your calculators, 687 liters, 3125, and as I said, units is liters. Now we need to calculate how much water is for 5 days for hand washing. So remember, they said this is for hand washing, and they use 100 liters per 25 kilos. So, and they say the average is 30 kilos per day. So it's 30 kilos per day for 5 days, they've told us. So let's write, so the hand washing water, okay, is, so your number of days will be, so sorry, your kilos will be your 30 kilos per day multiplied by 5 days. So this is going to equal, in your calculators, it's 150 kilos. So that's how many kilos of hand washing will do in the 5 days. So now they've also given us that it's for every 25 kilos we use 100 liters. So how many liters do we use per kilo? So liters per kilo equals, so it's 100 liters divided by the 25, which gives us that it's 4 liters per kilogram. So for every 4 liters we use 4 liters of water for every kilogram of washing. And now we know that we have 150 kilograms of hand washing. So now we can calculate how many liters are needed. So therefore total liters of water needed is going to be your 4 liters per kilo. So sorry, 4 liters multiplied by the total number, which we calculated to be 150 kilos. So 4 times 150 will equal, you can do this in your calculator as well, 600 liters. And then we can say, so then therefore, don't forget to say that the statement is correct. And we know this because we said that the capacity for 5 containers is more than 600 liters. So we need 600 and we actually get 687. So the statement is correct. And then finally, moving on to 1.2.3, and I'll erase this bottom section so we have space for it. Okay then, so I made some space, and the last question saying, provide one possible reason why some clothes are hand washed. And the reason being is that the washing machine can damage some clothes. So a reason to hand wash is it's less, causes less damage to your clothes. So A reason can be clothes can be damaged in washing machine. So then therefore they need to be hand washed instead. And any reasoning in aligns with that. So another reason is that some materials cannot be washed in the machines. That's simply the case. And any reasoning along those lines. And that's a wrap for that question. Before I go, I'd just like to give a special thanks to our epic sponsor for making this video possible. Read all about them in the description below. Be sure to visit our website for more of these epic tutorials. Remember, if you can't find the answer to your question, you can always send us your question and we'll respond with a personalized video just for you. And until next time, stay epic.